After an incredible game last night, a comeback win, a 3 home run game from, I know I say Kyle Schwarber. You may be thinking, what is that? It's the mixture of Kyle Schwarber and Barry Bonds. They're basically the same person. So why not just call him Kyle SchwarBonds? Tyler Mroz, Heat Ratio Sports, Phillies pregame show. It is 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. The Phillies' first pitch is at 3 o'clock. It might be like 3:07, some weird time like that. I think it's 3:07. Yeah, 3:07. Why do they do that? Maybe because it's an earlier game, but why not just do 3:05, 3:10? Not sure why the game is at 3:07 so specifically. But besides that, today, Christopher Sanchez on the mound for the Phillies, 9-9 with a 3.49 ERA, going up against Bowden Francis, who you may not have heard of, but he has been one of the best pitchers in the league in the month of August. So we'll get into that in a little bit. He's 8-3 with a 3.66 ERA. And we didn't do a post game yesterday because hopefully you were watching Tony and Frank at Pike's Pub last night. Don't do the Phillies pregame post game on Tuesdays because you got the pub action there. Get all the stuff you need to hit the triple play again. But last night, a 10-9 victory. Tyler Phillips comes in, gives up 6 runs in the first inning. The Phillies did not have the lead up until Kyle Schwarber. He hit a leadoff home run. He hit a home run in his second at bat. And then in the top of the 8th, with 2 runners on, Kyle Schwarber gets the lead for the Phillies, 10-8. Matt Strahm came in, gave up a home run, but closed the game out. Phillies win 10-9, a huge comeback victory, especially because we'll get into this a little bit later, but a lot of their rivals won last night. So an even bigger victory than you may think. 5 for 6, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. I want to read some stats on this because it was truly a historic game for Kyle Schwarber last night. It's not even an exaggeration. There have been 2 games in MLB history. So baseball's been around for over 100 years, maybe 150 years. There has been 2 games where a player has had 6 RBIs, has been on base 5+ times, had 4+ extra base hits, 3+ home runs, a leadoff home run, and a home run in the 9th inning or later. It's 2 games, right? Kyle Schwarber has had both of those games in the last 30 days, which is insane. Those are insane numbers. It's not like it is kind of an ESPN stat, but it's how good of a game this guy had as a leadoff guy. A lot of people love to criticize Kyle Schwarber as the leadoff guy, but you hear that. He's the only leadoff man in history to do that. He's the only guy in history, period, to do that. And he did it twice in the last 30 days. It's not like he did it earlier in his career and then later. He has done it twice in the past 30 days. And Phillies history, I lost it. Oh, man. But it was something with Mike Schmidt. Here we go. Kyle Schwarber joins Mike Schmidt as the second player in franchise history with 5 hits and 3 home runs in the same game. Schmidt did so in his 4 home run game, April 17th, 1976 at the Cubs. Schwarber is the first Phillies player since at least 1900 with 2 3 home run games in a single season. Credit to Phillies notes for that last one. Insane stat lines for Kyle Schwarber last night. He also joins Lawrence Butler of the Oakland A's as the only people to have recorded through multiple 3 home run games this season. Lawrence Butler did it against the Phillies, the game right before the All-Star break, so we all remember that very well. But truly a historic night last night from Kyle SchwarBonds. Phillies today, though, interesting lineup changes. Schwarber is in left field. Nick Castellanos is playing DH today. Weston Wilson's in right field. Cody Clemens at third. Again, no Alec Boehm. Don't know if we're going to see him before the Miami series. Rob Thompson did give an update. He did say that it's not IL worthy, so he's not going to be out for much longer, hopefully. And Edmundo Sosa, who has been the starting third baseman since taking over for Alec Boehm, he is getting the day off today. Did not have a particularly great night last night. His first 3 at-bats, he left a couple guys on base. So a day off for Sosa, who, I mean, he's been a really good piece for the Phillies this year. And then the Blue Jays, Vlad Jr.'s at third base. Brian Serven is catching today. Alejandro Kirk is at DH. And then Davis Schneider He's playing left field. Was supposed to pinch hit yesterday, for the Blue Jays, but that did not end up happening. To the game, I mentioned earlier, Bowden Francis. You may not know that name, but you should, because he has been statistically probably the best pitcher in baseball in the past month. So don't bow to him. Don't bow to Bowden. Play on the word there. But this is what he's done in his previous 4 games. He's 4-0, a .62 ERA, and 32 strikeouts. In the last 4 games, he has 32 strikeouts. That's crazy. I know, who was it? Was it the Angels? Or I don't know. But someone said that they weren't impressed with the way he played, and they absolutely blew them out. His stat line: 5 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts. He's gone 7 innings in all of them, except for his 1 start against the Angels. He went 8 innings. So this guy is someone who has been going late in the games, hasn't been giving up many hits, hasn't been giving up anything. He's just been causing a lot of swings and misses. 1 hit, 1 hit, 3 hits, 1 hit, 1 run in the past 4 games. And he's pitching, like I mentioned, 7 to 8 innings a game. So he is on a crazy stretch right now. You may see the name and his ERA this season. It is a 3.66, but baseball is all about who's hot. And Bowden Francis might be the player that's on fire the most. So do not discredit him. Do not bow down to him. A no-run first inning you saw yesterday. 6 runs in the first inning. Tyler Phillips, who was optioned back to AAA after today. We'll get into that. I just found that out right before going on the air here. 6 runs, 8 hits, and the Phillies got very lucky that Kyle Schwarber and the rest of the offense was on fire yesterday, because without that, the Phillies would not have won. Teams that usually give up 6 runs or more in not just the first inning, but the first couple of innings, you usually don't win those games, because it's rare that both offenses are on point, and that's how the game was yesterday. So do not give up a no-run first inning, because of how hot Bowden Francis has been. It's probably going to be a low-scoring game. And then someone's got to stay hot, right? Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, it happened yesterday. He hit 3 home runs. He had 6 of the 10 RBIs. Without that, the Phillies probably don't win that game. They definitely don't win that game. So someone's got to stay hot. I know Castellanos left the game early after getting hit by the pitch. Bryce Harper looked like he had maybe gotten hurt with his swings on his final at-bat, but he's playing today. So very, very important game, especially with how the NL is heating up. It seems like everybody is winning. We'll get to that shortly. And then I put this before because I was going to talk about who should start the next game between Taijuan Walker or Tyler Phillips. It's not going to be Tyler Phillips. He was just optioned to AAA. The Phillies called up Nick Nelson. So the rough game for Tyler Phillips. So I don't know who the pitcher is going to be. I think it's one of the games in Miami. Credit to Todd Selecki. Phillies called up Nick Nelson from AAA. Tyler Phillips optioned. Michael Rucker DFA'd to make room for Nelson on the 40-man. Rob Thompson said last night they'd have to talk about Sunday's pitching plan following Phillips' start last night. So the starter for Sunday's game against the Miami Marlins is unknown at the moment. Probably going to be a bullpen game. Could Taijuan Walker start that game? I think that's the most likely option. Colby Allard cannot be called up until September 10th, which is Tuesday. So Phillies need to go one more game without Allard being that rotational guy. Does Nick Nelson start? You saw earlier in the year, was that last year? Yeah, where Matt Strahm was starting the game. But who knows? Maybe they do what Kirkland does. They bring him in for an inning, and then they bring in Tanner Banks for an inning, and then they bring in Taijuan Walker. So Sunday's pitching plan is up in the air. But you know what's up in the air? You know what's hot also? The HRS Triple play. So let's see what we got cooking today. Tony at the pub last night going 4 for 4. Bet the Schwarber home run. Could have gotten away with 2 more of those, but nonetheless, 4 for 4. The HRS Triple play continues to be hot, so make sure you're going to Win Daily. Final day. I think this is the final day to get it. 50% off. Use that code HEAT. You save 50%. That's a lot of money. You see how hot we have been doing with these bets with the win daily method. So make sure you're getting there today. Final day before the NFL season kicking off tomorrow. Talk about that a little shortly. But let's see what we got today. I'm feeling good about this. Chris Sanchez under 18.5 outs recorded at -190. That is basically 6 innings. Sanchez has gone over 6 innings once since the All-Star break. So don't think he's going to go that far. I think he'll go 5 or 6 innings. I don't think he's going to go 7 or 8 because the Blue Jays don't hit a lot, but you saw how hot the offense was last night, especially against Tanner Banks was a lefty that came in. He was getting hit pretty well. So it is a lefty. I still think Sanchez will have a good game, but don't think he'll be in there for more than 6 innings. Turner, 2+ total bases at -105. He had 3 hits last night. I think he's going to continue the trend today. I think he's good for at least 1 extra base hit. So I like the 2+ total bases. And then Kyle Schwarber to get an RBI, staying hot at +170. Could see him get another SchwarBomb today, just to follow up on it yesterday. So we shall see. I do like these though. And then the bonus bet's always a home run. I like looking at the guys at the bottom of the line because they got the better odds. How about Cody Clemens at +850? He's getting his first start today since being called up. It's on the road. Why not? Why not Cody Clemens? He hasn't homered since he's been called up. So why not? I feel like an afternoon game, today's a good game for Cody Clemens to get a home run. So again, Christopher Sanchez, under 18.5 outs recorded at -190. Trey Turner at 2+ total bases at -105. Kyle Schwarber to get an RBI at +170. And then the bonus bet, Cody Clemens to get a home run at +850. And again, use that code HEAT. Go to Win Daily Sports. Get 50% off. You see the Win Daily method here is working, winning a lot of money. So make sure you can hop on that trend too. Hop over to Win Daily. Final day to use this code. Not just Philly. Moments of the night. Lots happened. Last night, huge night in the National League. Obviously, the Phillies had that huge comeback win. The Braves won, the Mets won, and the Dodgers. So top of that, race is starting to heat up. Brewers did lose to, I think it was the Angels or the Cardinals. They did lose, though. So a big loss for them. Huge for the Phillies. Yeah, it was to the Cardinals, 7-4 in 12 innings at home, too. So brutal loss there. But the NL wildcard race went from nothing to being on fire. Let's see. Padres are up 3 games. The Diamondbacks are up 2.5 games on the Braves. So you have those 2 teams. But that third spot, the Braves have it. They're 75-63. The Mets are half a game behind them. The Cubs, who were sellers at the deadline, they're 4.5 back. The Cardinals, who just beat the Brewers, are 4.5 back. 5.5 back. And even the Giants and the Reds are still not out of it. Giants 7.5, Reds 9.5 out, and the Pirates are 10 games out. So definitely an interesting race coming up. Cubs came out of nowhere. Their GM or their owner said at the trade deadline, any moves we make this year are not for this year. So he was pretty much accepting defeat for the rest of the year. They started off really cold. There was rumors about them trading off Jamison Tyone and Cody Bellinger. Didn't end up doing that. They traded for Isaac Paredes from the Rays. So Cubs getting hot, coming out of nowhere, keeping it interesting. So a lot of teams not too out of it yet. So should be a interesting month of September for this NL wildcard race. Crazy to think that the Braves are just half a game out from being out of the playoffs, which is kind of insane. Speaking of Patrick Surtain, Broncos quarterback, 10th overall pick in 2021. Rumored trade target for the last 2 seasons for the Eagles. He's not going anywhere. Signs a 4-year, $96 million extension with the Denver Broncos. He becomes the highest paid cornerback or highest paid defensive back in NFL history. Props to Pat Surtain. He absolutely deserves it. He might be the top corner in the NFL. Obviously, you have Sauce Gardner, and probably Surtain is 1 or 2. It might honestly be a 1A, 1B situation. So congrats to Patrick Surtain for getting that extension with the Broncos. Sean Payton's main guy on that defense. So I do think the Broncos are going to be flirting with a playoff spot this year. I'm high on Bo Nix. I just love Sean Payton as a coach. I think he makes his guys play better. So I do think that the Broncos, I'm not saying they're going to be Super Bowl contenders or anything. I don't think they're going to win the AFC West either. I don't think they're going to be close to that, but I think they are going to flirt with that 7th wild card spot. And then the other extension news, Trent Williams was holding out. He restructured his contract with the 49ers. It's a huge contract, and they just paid Brandon Ayuk. There we go. It's a 3-year, $82.66 million deal, 48 guaranteed, a 25.69 signing bonus. This is a guy who's probably, without a doubt, the best left tackle in the league right now, but he's 36 and they just signed him to or 35 and they just signed him to a 3-year extension. He has had some injury problems in the past, but ever since coming to the Niners, he has been the best left tackle, the best tackle in general. So shout out to him. Congrats to him and his family for getting that money. 49ers paying a lot of guys. Javon Hargrave still getting over $20 million. They're paying Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. But that happens when you're paying your quarterback $750,000. So Brock Purdy's due for that extension soon. So don't think the Niners can maintain paying all their guys. It's good that they're doing it now, though. Getting it done out of the way. They extended Debo. What was it, last year? They extended him. Extended Ayuk. McCaffrey's under contract. Trent Williams is under contract. Nick Bosa is under contract. So 49ers locking their guys down before they have to pay their guy. And then the New Jersey 76ers, you had the New Jersey Nets. And now you have the New Jersey 76ers potentially being a thing. That whole stadium rendering came out of the Sixers' plans to move to the Fashion Square. Never heard of that in Philly. A lot of people were complaining about why would you move it out of the complex? The Philly Sports Complex is the best thing going right now. Why would you change that? Why would you move not even in the center city? It's in the Fashion Plaza, Fashion Square Plaza, whatever it's called. Parking would be a nightmare. Taking the train would be a nightmare because Philadelphia, a lot of people are concerned. That's looking on Twitter. These are not my words. This is what I've seen people complain about. They're complaining about they don't feel safe taking the train there, walking on the streets. That's just other people's complaints. Again, this is not me. This is what I've read, and I'm reporting on that. So, but New Jersey is trying to make a push to move the team to Camden, New Jersey. The Sixers do have their practice facility there. Great news potentially for New Jersey 76ers fans. You don't have to pay $6 in tolls to go to the games if this happens. Long shot. I don't think it'll happen, but I just can't believe they're moving out of the Wells Fargo Center. I think they should keep the team, all of them together. Just having those arenas there, I think that's better for business. I think that's better for the overall look for Philly because you got all your teams in one spot and it's not spread out, and they're all connected. So that's just my opinion. I think the Sixers should stay in Philadelphia, definitely not New Jersey. If they're going to build a stadium in the city, at least build it in Center City. So that's my thoughts on that situation. But it's 2:48 right now. First pitch is in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So I'll be live here for Phillies postgame 5 to 10 minutes after the final out. As always, it just depends on what the score of the game is, if it's close, if it's not close. That all matters. Got a little bit of a new setup going here, so testing it out, seeing how it works out. Look back at this video, see how the background looks. There's going to be more stuff added too. I'm trying to switch it up a little bit. It's good to switch things up again. So have a good day, everyone. Not night. We're playing a day game, so have a good afternoon. Hopefully to see you at 5 to 10 minutes after the oh my goodness. 5 to 10 minutes after the game for Phillies postgame show here live on Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're commenting, make sure you're subscribing, and make sure you're pressing that notification bell. You get notified as soon as we go live. So I will be here, and I want you to be too. So have a good afternoon, everyone. Enjoy the game. And as always, go Phillies and stay fresh, my friends. Have a good one, everyone.